Okay. Well, I think DJ will be here too. I talked to him yesterday, so he should be showing up in a little bit too.
Yeah, I talked to Mike earlier, sent him a message. I'd take my son down the road, Waterston Road, and had to get him out of here before we got blocked up in here. Going down through water wasn't too bad. Coming back was treacherous, but yeah, probably shouldn't have drove through that much water, but it's not the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last.
And VA3KBC at the top of the air. And hello, Randall.
Yeah, and I'm going to hand it over to you, Randall, whenever you're ready.
So make it easy, guys. Let me shut the air off and see if 100 watts is kicking in.
Yeah, you're better with the install, but yeah, we hear you on 100.
All right.
All right, well, this is Randall Whiskey Victor 8, Romeo Kilo Lima with the Frontiersman. With a big shout out to John. He's listening on the SDR, or correction, Don, and Amy, and I think Randy as well is maybe listening today, and hopefully Dan. But anyway, this is Randall Whiskey Victor 8, Romeo Kilo Lima with the Frontiersman Network. What is it? Just a rag shoe group of folks. We talk about frontiersman skill sets from building a stick with, or building a fire with a couple sticks and a string, clear up to, well, modern day ham antenna building and whatnot, and everything in between. Well, I've got the mic keyed down. Getting ready to plug the walnut trees there. The sap is done, or I'm done with the sap for this year. Ended up getting a little over 1.5 gallons of syrup there, so that turned out really nice. With a short period of time that I done that, next year we'll get a lot more walnut sap. Bees are doing good. The weather here was beautiful. Yesterday it rained all day. Never quit raining, which brought the water up, which shut our phone off, internet, so forth, so on. But the water is in the road, so my antenna is much lower than it normally is, about 30 foot lower, and instead of having 72 watts of power reflecting off of 30 feet of water or 30 yards of water, now I've got 72 watts reflecting off of several, well, at least 100 plus yards of water there as my antenna goes up across there. Bees are doing really good. Couldn't ask for any better, as I was saying a minute ago, but we got snowflakes falling, so it's been snowing here all morning, on and off. It was pretty treacherous coming back up the road. I wouldn't call it a whiteout, but you definitely wanted to have your headlights on. But I am taking folks. I've got Philip down. I've got Randy. I've got Don or DJ. Who else do we got in there? KD8MUK.
Good afternoon. This is Tony here, K2 VI, Virginia Beach.
VA3KBC.
WB3BAB. A little slower, guys. All through the gate.
VA3KBC. Was Mike going to use NetLogger?
I got it up, but it sounded like somebody's writing them down. Is somebody else running it already?
No, I was just asking because Mike mentioned, but if you're using NetLogger, that's good.
The other day, but we don't have no internet here, no telephone. I sent the message when I was out, and when I come back out of service, Mike, or I came out of service right after I sent you the message, been out of service, no service here, and no internet here, over.
Yeah, I got it running. Yeah, I mean, if you want me to keep track of stuff, I'll do what I can.
If you can keep up there, fine. If you want to open it and try to keep up, that's great. And I got W4 or something. I didn't catch the rest of it.
I ain't talking about you, Tony.
Oh, yeah, this is Kilo 2 Victor India. Tony in Virginia Beach. Partly cloudy here. And a little bit breezy. Temperature. No.
All right. right. Well, there we go. Cold here, snowing. The water is starting to drop, though. That's a plus because it got so cold. But anyway, enough with that. Anybody got anything they would like to talk about today, or subject or question to ask, a subject to bring up?
VA3KBC checking in.
Can you hear Bob?
Yeah, Bob, go ahead.
I was just checking in there, Randall. Just checking in.
Yeah, what was the call again?
Whiskey Bravo 3, Bravo Alpha Bravo.
All right, got you in there.
Randall, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How come y'all have all the lunches with the moon?
I guess because we're in the mountains here and you're in the roaming hills as they roll down into that wonderful state you live in.
There's nothing here, too.
It just comes up through there, Randy. Sometimes it takes the right side, sometimes it takes the left side, but it has a lot to do with the jet stream swooping down out of Canada and down in and up and around. Sometimes it just don't make it to you. It hits them mountains and then just keeps it all on our side here. Sometimes that's good, and well, other times you end up with 4 feet of snow, which makes you want to get your skis out there. But I swear I heard someone a minute ago when I said topic or subject, and there's about 3 people there popped in there. But I think we got that lined out. Who was it that had a topic or subject they'd like to bring up?
I don't know if W1KIP is checked in. Let me go to NetLogger again.
I didn't put him in there.
Okay, well, Kip, I talked to him this morning, and he was gonna try to check in, so hopefully he does, because he was gonna talk about making apple butter.
Hey, that's a good subject right there. Apple butter. I like that subject. Apple butter is a lot of fun to make. It's time consuming, gives you time to sit around with your friends and family, and it's always good to hand a stick off there.
That's just what I want to do, is make apple butter.
See if I can. Let me see if I can bring up his YouTube or his QRZ. What the hell is that?
Okay, yeah, Randall, I pulled up last week's list, and I'm adding people to it, and if any of the ones that I haven't heard or whatever like that, I'll just mark them not heard or whatever, but we can check with them. I don't know whoever wants to throw them out in order.
If you guys want to ID, take your time, ID. I'll get me a drink of this hydrogen water here, which is a topic I'm going to bring up here in a few.
Good, because I think my daughter and son-in-law, that's what they're, I think, have one of those machines.
Guys want an ID there? This is Whiskey Victor 8 Romeo Kilo Lima.
Okay, Randall, I'll go next, I reckon. And this is Alpha Bravo 8 Kilo Yankee AB8K1.
Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie.
Kilo Delta 4 Kilo India 5.
Kilo Oscar 4, Bravo Whiskey Juliet.
Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey Lima Sierra.
All right. Well, there's a good group in there. Whiskey 4 Charlie X-Ray Tango Lima Charlie Kilo Oscar 4 unit. My goodness, you guys are all sounding good there. everybody's got a good signal today, so I'm glad to see the band's in our favor. But yeah, well, I'm going to bring up, I purchased here a while back, some of you already know I'm on a big health kick, so ended up going for the hydrogen water machine, done a little bit of research. Pick 2024's top pick out of it that's supposed to work with all the great reviews. I wouldn't call it a little, it was a little more money, but it had some great reviews. When I say a little more, it was under $5 to $8 more, something like that. Very pleased with it. See a significant difference in drinking. It's got a good flavor. It's not something, because I had never tried it before. Hydrogen water of that nature out of a plug it into the wall, charge it up. It's a portable unit. It was about $60. It was under $60 with shipping to the door. It's got a glass top on it, very well packaged. Whenever you push the button, it was already charged when I got here. So I cleaned it out, and of course you don't use tap water in it, but as I keep on drinking out of that, I'm going to see how if I see any actual benefits to it or feel any better. So far, I can't tell the difference because I've only been using it for about 24 to 36 hours. So I know that I have drank plenty of water through it there, but no more than I normally drink during the day. So I just changed it over to hydrogen water. It's supposed to help with inflammation. It's one of the things it's supposed to help with. Considering the issue I had last week, I want to throw a big shout out to everybody that helped me run the net last week, Mike and DJ, Philip, and everybody else that joined in. Greatly appreciate it. I did listen. I did come back and chime in for those who didn't. But what happened to me? Well, I'll tell you, that was the silliest thing I ever heard tell of, according to my chiropractor. What I done was I was listening to some relaxing hertz frequencies, and it was nice outside, and I fell asleep on the couch with the doors and windows open, and well, it got down to freezing, and I woke up, and where I was in such a REM sleep, I got a really cold chill. I was sitting on the couch, of all things, and of course my head was like a weeble wobble, and I wobbled it down there to about my kneecap somewhere, and backwards like an owl, twisted around looking up at the ceiling. It's kind of how I woke up, and it was very stiff, very painful, and for the next 3 or 4 days I had pinched a nerve and got a cold chill in there, and my chiropractor says the damage that's done to it is going to take me a year plus to get it out, although I did have some other issues with my neck where I broke it years ago, so I'm sure that probably plays a little part more than just me going to sleep listening to some frequencies there that supposed to relax you. Well, I highly recommend listening to those frequencies because they do definitely help and work, but I don't recommend doing it. You might want to look at long-term weather forecasts and make sure you're in a warm environment so you don't get chilled and do what happened to me. And I caught some weird cold too, which I never get sick. I want to elaborate on that for a second or two. Everybody around here has it. And it's your sinuses just keep it running. They don't quit. Just like you pouring water through a sieve.
Okay, test 1, 2.
You get an upper respiratory issue.
Try that again. Test 1, 2.
You can't, it doesn't break free. My sinuses quit running, as you can tell.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not as congested as I was before, but everybody else is still running theirs very strong. As far as, and they're all pretty sick. And it's airborne. 100% guaranteed airborne, because there's a couple of my neighbors that do not leave their house. Don't go anywhere, and they are subjected to this cold as well. They haven't left for over 30 days at their house, and they got the same cold that everybody else has got around here, as we all do, keep in touch by stopping out and watch someone's on the front porch and hollering at them from the road kind of thing. But, yeah, definitely airborne. I hear a lot of other people's got it throughout the country as well, and and hopefully, my immune system kicks back in there, because that's just something that doesn't happen to me. Very, very, very rarely do I ever get sick. But whatever this was, got a pretty good hold on me, and I'm on the uphill tick, so that's a major plus. Not 100%, but in the mid-90s somewhere. This is Randall, Whiskey Victor 8, Romeo Kilo Lima.
Hey, Randall, maybe you ought to hire you a masseuse. Maybe that'll my masseuse. Get them kids out.
Well, I don't got a masseuse, but I did go to a chiropractor, and I did, my chiropractor has pushed more than 2 million needles in the last couple of years in people. He did some acupuncture on me, and made me feel like a whole different person. I can move around, like I said. The only way I could get comfortable is my head on a flip-flop, one arm in the toilet, one hanging over the sink in the bathtub, bent over the sink, and one foot on the floor, and the other one out the window, and then I was really comfortable. Any other position was very painful. Couldn't hurt to breathe, to be quite frank. I hadn't been in that much pain since they put me back together like Humpty Dumpty several decades ago. But that's another story. Enough with all the pain. I'm glad I got the hydrogen thing, because I do think that it may be helping there. But the chiropractor's done a good job on me so far. Real content with that. Okay, so enough with me and my health issues. But again, thanks everybody for running the net last week. All right, let's see who else is in there. Anybody stop by since we started this? All right, nothing, Herb. Well, so a big shout out to DJ up there. We are live, and want to thank you for what you do up there, DJ, putting us live, and thanks for everything that, again, you do, as well as hopefully we can get things worked on my end a little bit better to make it a little easier on you as time goes on. I want to thank everybody for showing up here, and hydrogen water, back to that subject. Can anybody, has there anybody on here partaking or is going to partake in the drinking hydrogen water? Is there anybody that does that on a regular basis?
As I said, my daughter and son-in-law, they've got into that, so I don't know anything more about it than that they got the machine, because I think his sister deals in that kind of stuff, so I'm waiting to hear what they have to say. And Randall, I can't get that picture out of my mind of you with the arm over the bathtub and around the toilet. Yeah, it's just a picture I don't want to see. Anyhow, but it's going to be interesting. I'll see what they find with their consumption of the hydrogenated water. I did find I had it up on the screen here. I can bring it up again. There's different there's waters that you can buy, and there's also machines. Did you get the machine then?
I've got the portable machine. It's a battery pack, so I can take it with me camping anywhere I go. Ordered a couple of them. I think it was $79 for two. It was what it was. But, it hydrogenates, concentrates anywhere from 800 to 1,200 parts per million hydrogen rich, that is per cup. It also does it electrolytic powered. That works out pretty good there where you can take it with you and use it anywhere. It is glass, so it's a little leery. I'm a little leery on that, but I do believe that my buddy, after speaking with him, I think he may end up building me a nice leather holster this thing goes in. If I take him the other one over and drop it off, so he's got a pattern, so I won't have to worry about so-called smash the glass. It's extremely well built. Very pleased with it so far. And, like I said, I've only been using it, 48 plus hours, probably around 48 hours. So, I not a whole lot. I can tell there's definitely a different flavor in the water, different taste, and it doesn't taste bad. Some people was telling me, that's an acquired taste. Well, I don't know. Maybe depending on what water you put in it. It definitely says on the package in the instructions, do not use tap water. So it takes 3 minutes time you push the button, and more or less I'm sure they've got all different forms of machines out there, but this one was supposed to be 2024's top pick out of those. I don't recall the name of it off the top of my head, and it's not even on the machine. So that makes it quite interesting. You thought they would have had their name on the machine, but I'm sitting here looking at it, drinking out of it, and it doesn't even have the name on the machine. So I don't even know what the name of this one actually is off the top of my head. Health Beauty of Water. That's all it says. Health Beauty of Water. So yeah. I'll leave it alone at that. Anybody else got any comments?
Okay. I have hydrogen water ionizer machine, electric hydrogen rich water machine. So that's what I brought up. And there's showing bottled water too. I have a Soda Stream carbonated water thing, and that's what I drink. And again, it's like you say, it's an acquired taste. It took me a couple of days to get used to it. Now I prefer it over regular water, so this probably is the same. But that's what I have up on the screen here, so people can judge for themselves. And there's some links there as well for the benefits and all that kind of stuff. So anyhow, okay, I'll take that off the screen here. And yeah, there's hydrogen water bottle, different things that I see up there. So it'll you can Google it.
Yeah, there's so many health benefits when you start looking into the research on it. They claim that it does a whole bunch of stuff. I can't elaborate on any of that yet. So, as time goes on, maybe I can. But hopefully I can. Anyway, hopefully I see a significant difference and just didn't waste my money. I don't think I have, because I really think it may be helping on the inflammation. I know my neck's not bothering me as bad, but I did Friday when I received this thing. I did also go to the chiropractor there, and he definitely changed me from the first time I was there to the second time, and hopefully the next time I get back I'll even be that much better, and that'll put me right up there to almost back to 100%, other than being a little stiff. So I can work with stiff. I can work the stiffness out. But anyway, enough with me again. Anybody else? That's a good question, Philip. What type of a water filtration system do you use?
I just use the charcoal, sand, and gravel.
Well, there you go. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, I prefer myself when I go to get charcoal. I believe I brought this up in the past. I know I bring it up all the time, but coconut charcoal. That's the ultimate charcoal, in my opinion. It's relatively not only cheap, but it works. It's very active. You can let it dry out and take off with it again, and there's no harm, no foul, and it can sit there for a long period of time. We run that in a spring, my buddy's house up there. We run that in his spring. He's got spring water that comes into his cellar house, and it fills up the cistern. We dug and put a cistern out there, and runs through two systems made like that. One going into the tank and one coming back out of the tank before it comes back in the house. And his water is some of the purest, finest drinking water that one can ever put in his mouth there. Over.
Comment?
Go ahead.
Yeah, our water comes straight out of the ground, and the only thing we filter it through is the Brita pitchers in the fridge. So that's the way we work up here in Ohio.
Well, there you go. Them Brito pitchers, I really like those. Them are a nice little unit there. That's the first one I ever seen in my life. A gentleman that acquaintance of mine in Ohio, he had one. And after I seen it, used it, tasted the water out of the spigot compared to the water that he just run through that machine, which took a few minutes there for it to actually run down. Holy Toledo, it was daylight and dark. It was a significant difference. Took all the smell, took all the after flavors and the now flavors out of it. It made it a good spring-like water. Was very amazed by them filtered water systems there. Any other comments? Anybody want to talk about their water filter system they got?
mine's just in the fridge. The old fridge we had the filter, and this one here as well, the new one that we got. And you can taste the difference. It takes that chlorine taste out. Other than that, I can't tell you what other things it does, but it does taste a lot better. And like I said, I do the Soda Stream now with the carbonated water, and I've had that for a month now, and I just noticed today that the when I pull the lever that it's getting a little bit weaker, so that cylinder lasts a long time.
Hey, I got a question about question.
Go ahead.
The little head that's on my faucet came off, and I found a washer down in the sink, and I was just wondering, does that
Hey, thanks, Michael. I'll put your phone in my cell phone here.
Or put the filter over the top of it, or just what?
Well, I'm not sure what type of spigot you're dealing with, but most generally your screen will slide up in there, and the washer slides over the screen, and then your metal piece goes up on there. That's the way mine operates anyway. I've installed several of those over the years, and most of them work like that, Randy. Not all of them. Some there are a few that work the opposite. The rubber O-ring goes in first, sets on the screen sets on top of it, and then you put the end on there. So you could probably just look at that and see how it's wore and figure it out there. Over.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thanks.
That's not a problem, and or at least have your mom look at it. I forgot, Randy, you're in the process of getting your eyes fixed there. Hopefully that comes about here pretty soon. You can get them cataracts taken off so you can see a little better. That's what I hope for you there. Anybody else got anything to bring up about water before we change the subject? Water filters. All right. Well, that was quite interesting. I like water filters in this hydrogen thing. So anyway, my goodness, DJ, I'm going to throw this up to you. Maybe you can elaborate on it a little bit more due to the fact that you're up there. But I noticed that you guys are having some serious issues with the one that's in charge up there, and there's some of the things that's come to light that he's done is not good, and there's some not no real good outlook ahead for that, is there? It doesn't appear to be, is there, DJ?
Well, yeah, it's yet to see what's going to happen. Yet to be determined whether that bill C-16. I need to look that up again. C-16, whether that will be passed or not. The NDP are supporting the Liberals, which isn't a good idea. They weren't part of the deal, and but now they are. So we'll see what transpires. That whole act that they have could shut a lot of people down as far as doing any streaming or anything on social media. If we say anything that the government deems offensive, probably to them, which a lot of people are saying stuff, it is $20,000 to $70,000 fine and a life in prison. So just our freedoms are slowly being taken away, and let me just see here if I can find some more information. I have it up on we're fortunate that Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, which is now called X, because he's kind of really let us have some more information given out. And well, there's a lot of illegal actions being taken against the governments, provincial and federal, for these lockdowns, and mandates that they had imposed, people losing their jobs. Now, I wish I could find. I should have had this up. I never expected to be having to discuss this. I did last week there. So there is just a lot of information on. That's one thing I said last week to people. Forget about the mainstream media, the legacy media, because they're the political. They're the arm of the political elites. They're the liberals and the NDP and the Democrats and the whatever talking points the government has. The media mimics that, and they're generally not true. They're fabricated, a lot of lies. So, with everything that they've been saying, that is hateful misinformation and hateful as well. So they, boy, I got so much stuff here that I can't find it. But yeah, so in the end, we are losing our liberties. We're losing our ability to say what we, think we have the right to say, and a lot of it's our opinion. So just the fact that that could be lost is very terrifying, because who dictates what is hateful and what is not? So when the government says that they're doing this for the betterment of the citizens, then that's a lie. They never do anything that's the betterment for citizens. So they're just going to do what they want to do, and they seem to have carte blanche with the media, the legacy media, parroting whatever they say. So I don't have. Golly, I wish I had some. I'll let you pick it up, Randall. Let me just see if I can find some more stuff here that I did have saved. VA3KBC.
All right. Thanks for elaborating on that as well. And I was going to bring some other things up, but I don't have internet. And I was going to bring some coincidental things up. I'll bring them up later on this week. Historical facts. These just happen to be about 3 presidents that died in July. All 3 of them, but along with some other facts, historical facts there that I found very interesting, and I thought I was going to bring that up, topic and subject, as for a piece of little Americana history there that most people don't know about. But this is Whiskey Victor 8 Romeo Kilo Lima with the Frontiersman .network here, and that can be found at frontiersman.network as well. Just a good landing page. I know we got some SDR listeners out there. Top of the evening to you, Don, and Ron, hopefully Dan, Amy, maybe Randy as well, and whoever else, shortwave listeners out there. I know we have a few of those that listen as well. Feel free to chime in on our website here. Let us know that you're listening. We'll get your name thrown out, and first name basis or last name, however you word it there. Don't throw anybody's full name out there most generally, because I very rarely get that. But anyway, thank you guys for listening on the shortwave again, as well as the SDR. And back over to you, Don. Yes, sir, Randy. Go ahead.
That is totally purely treason what they're doing, because the freedom of speech is in the Constitution.
Yeah, well, it's in our Constitution. Don happens to live across the border in Canada up there, so they seem to be making rules and regulations up as they go along, and they're losing their rights up there really quick. That's one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up and something I'll bring up more often, how fast things are occurring elsewhere, overseas as well. That's the reason I started this group, to help everybody share some skill sets as well as some knowledge. So, one day we may need this. There's a possibility we may need all this, or something you have to offer, or Don, or me, or Philip. So that's the reason I kind of started this network, to share some of these skill sets so we can learn from each other. And, if nothing else, carry it on to our children there, over.
Yeah, well, what they're doing is cutting all trees.
Well, we know that.
They call it. Well, when I get this game away again.
All right. Anybody else got a comment to make there, topic to bring up? All right, this is Whiskey Victor 8, Romeo Kilo Lima. I'll tell you that high water, the smart thing to do is turn around, don't drown. I know there's some of you heard earlier that I went through some water. I've been going through this same water since I've been a little kid. My dad used to drive down through there with a 24-inch lift on a pickup truck, send me up over there with a 9/16" wrench, reach down inside the motor, take the fan belt off, and we would get in the back of the truck, and he'd take us through the water, and that's how we got in and out of here for years. Have to take the fan belt off. Only when you was pushing water up to the hood. But had a set of 44 tires on it, and I spent my whole life going through this water, can read it quite well, although there's always a danger crossing through water there. Spent many years kayaking in whitewater rescue as well, so it's not my first trip into Mother Nature's water, so I don't want to deter anybody or scare anybody and make them think that this is a silly hillbilly. I always take precautions. Believe it or not, I had my son with me, so I made sure that he had a life vest with him, so and on. And even though it was 2.5 feet of water, I still made him put a life vest on just in case I had to get out and my ankle twisted as I was carrying him across the road there. But anyway, we've had no issues with that. All of us that live up this dead end road here, it's just another trip out of the valley here.
Okay, finally found it. So the notion of prior restraint, or the idea that a person can be sanctioned today for a crime that he has not yet committed but might commit in the future, just got a whole new lease of life in Canada. This idea gained traction during the pandemic when people were forced to quarantine despite the absence of any evidence that they were carrying COVID. So it's not surprising to see some innovative totalitarians finding new uses for evil ideas. Justice Minister Arif Virani has defended a new power in the online harms bill to impose house arrest on someone who is feared to commit a hate crime in the future, even if they have not yet done so already. The person could be made to wear an electronic tag, and the Attorney General requested or ordered by a judge to remain home, the bill says. So that's one of the things that they're pondering. So that's very, very frightening to think that your neighbor could say, just because he may not like you, that this guy is saying some hateful things. And that's what they could do. Yeah, so Bill C-63 is designed to curb the proliferation of hate crime, but also establishes a new hate crime offense, which would carry a maximum penalty of life imprisonment. So I have that up on the screen here. And so that's part of it. There's more. But that's the gist of what this tyrannical government is wanting to do to us. So the bill would allow people to file complaints to the Canadian Human Rights Commission over what they perceive as hate speech online, including, for example, off-color jokes by comedians. People found guilty of posting hate speech could have to pay victims up to $20,000 in compensation. But experts including internet law professor Michael Geist have said that even a threat of civil complaint with a lower burden of proof than a court of law and a fine could have a chilling effect on freedom of expression. So there you go.
Yeah, that's just insane. That's scary insane. Means you can't even say hi to your neighbor, because if you didn't wave your hand right, he could just call up and call the Gestapo on you, and yeah, that'd be awful, man. That's terrible. I wonder what they're even thinking about putting something like that into effect. I know we've got some red flag laws, and some other stuff here that's been put into play. Here in West Virginia, especially, we already got welfare checks dealing in the so-called "Are you sane enough to have a gun?" That could disqualify the majority of the people here in West Virginia. Cough, cough, cough. According to whoever's doing whoever the doctor may be. What is the definition of sanity? So anyway, that's another dark, deep rabbit hole to go down. Yeah, Don, I want to keep up with this as time goes on, because that's just bloody scary, man. I mean, that's just bloody scary to have somebody in office put into play that and you just elaborated there, comedians. So if I just made a joke and throwed in a name, now not only can I go to jail for life imprisonment, but they seize my assets and sell them because I didn't have enough money to pay him for degrading him just in a joke as a stand-up comedian. That's plumb bloody scary.
Well, as I said last week, liberalism is a mental disorder, but someone chimed in and saying that it's evil, it's communistic tyrannicals, and I'm stand corrected. That's exactly it. So, yeah, it is a power that they would have over you. So, if you don't align with their political views, then you would be, this is like Nazi Germany or Soviet Russia, Soviet Union with Stalin. So these tyrannical leaders here in Canada are no better, and then the media is following along. So it's a scary thing what's happening to us as humanity, and to think that the government is doing this for protection is bullshit. Anybody that believes that the government is doing this to protect them, they're idiots, they're fools, they're stupid, and that's my opinion on that. So go ahead, if you think that's good, then you can be the first to be imprisoned and or be in house arrest, and see how you like it then. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie.
Yeah, because I speak to a lot of people up in Canada. I know Eagle One Antennas, my buddy, acquaintance of mine that I bought mine off of, owns the company, and I think when I was running that thing, I think I sold around 100 of them for him up there in Canada, because I kept bragging about them and talking them up, and everybody had to have one up there in Canada. So he said, "Man, I'm shipping another one up there." I said, "Well, where's my money at?" Cough, cough. I just laughed. And I said, I don't want anything. But anyway, yeah, the Eagle One antenna is a fantastic vertical antenna. You guys are going to hear more about that here in the future. I've got it in the Jeep. I just haven't figured out what radio I want to put in there yet to have a mobile setup. But as the weather breaks, snow's flying still here in West Virginia. When the weather breaks, I'll have that all set up and ready to go this spring.
WLS comment.
Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, I was just going to comment there on that situation up in Canada. It's bad, but you got to remember, too, the government is only as good as the people that are, trying to implement that government, and we as a people have a right to instill a new government if that government becomes evil. And we actually not only have a right, we have a duty to do so. Law enforcement and military that take an oath of office to support the Constitution, not the people in charge of the government. And if they don't follow their oath, they should be removed.
Well, here in Canada, it's a different setup than what you have, and we have the NDP. When Trudeau called the election during the pandemic, he was vilifying those that didn't take the jab, and so he was hoping that he'd get a majority. He was pitting one group of citizens against others in Canada here. But anyhow, he didn't get a majority. He didn't have enough seats to have a majority. So the Jagmeet Singh, Jimmy Dhaliwal, is propping, the NDP are propping him up. So they're keeping them in power. And so that's what's going on here. Jimmy there, Jagmeet Singh, is wanting to stay in power long enough so he can get his full pension. Then then he'll be on easy street. So he's that's part of the issue, is that there's the opposition is the Conservative Party of Canada, and they really didn't help much when the pandemic was going on. But now they've kind of turned the corner and are seeing that the negative aspects of what had happened. And so we'll see what happens there with Pierre Poilievre, the Conservative Party of Canada leader. And whenever an election is called, it's supposed to be one coming up in 2025. But if perchance that there is a reason for the government to lose in a vote of, so there'll be a vote of non-confidence, then there will be have to call election for 30 days. Fortunately, here in Canada, I think it's only about a 30-day deal, where you guys are about 2 years to run your election. So we'll see what happens there. But he is really, really hated. I have not come across anybody that likes Trudeau or Singh. And the carbon tax, a new carbon tax coming on the 1st of April, and then the MPs are getting a raise. So the carbon tax is a real thorn in people's sides here. I'll have to get the numbers. I'll maybe look that up for next week. But everything that you purchase has a carbon tax on it. So we have the HST, which is 13%, plus this carbon tax on anything to do with heating and that, your gas, so on and so forth. So that's what we're up against. We have the propaganda arm of the government is the legacy media. The only one that we follow is Rebel News. There's a few others, but Rebel News is the good one here. So that's what we have to deal with. VA3KBC.
Yeah, I don't know if how things work up in Canada, but if you local guys in the U.S. can go to your local meetings and kind of remind your local officials of their oath that they took, maybe that would be a good idea to start, so we don't end up like that our neighbors up north.
Well, we I was heavily involved, both my daughters, in politics. We did when there was elections. We were scrutineers, so we watched as the elections people voted, and then when they were counted, they were paper ballots, and we had to confirm what the counters counted, and made sure that everything was copacetic there. So that's what my two daughters and I have done in the past. We've campaigned before with political parties, and generally it's been conservative, whether it's provincial or federal. But the provincial premier that we have, Doug Ford, is like what you guys have, rhinos. He's supposed to be conservative, but he's liberal. So not happy with him either. But anyhow, that's enough on this subject. I'll let Randall pick up something else. If there's somebody else that has anything that they want to discuss, I can bring it up on the stream. And for those that may not have a computer in front of them, you can watch you can bring the live stream up You can bring the stream up from my QRZ page, or just go to YouTube and put in my call sign, Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie, VA3KBC. You can go from my QRZ page or go to YouTube, and it's today's date, Frontiersman Net YouTube there. So you can rewatch it and back up and pause it, and if you want to see there's something on the screen you want to see, so that's one of the things that we have here for those individuals that may want to visually see something as well. So other than that, I'll turn it back over to Randall.
All right. Well, thanks, DJ. This is Randall and the rest of the group of the Frontiersman Network here. And my goodness, I appreciate everybody coming out today. I want to thank everybody again. Not that I'm getting off here just yet, but I'm going to see somebody got a topic, a subject, or something you'd like to bring up.
I love you, Randall. WV4LOL Mobile.
Can someone pick him up? I just barely got him.
I think that was Chris. He said he loves you. He's in his mobile.
Buck loves everybody.
Buck's lovey. You gotta watch out for Buck, Randall.
I know, Buck. He's got it on going on there. I can hear you in the mobile there, Buck. You're just a little bit light. The last transmission, you jumped up there about 3 times as high. So you're definitely mobile in the mobile there. Where are you located down there in the mobile?
I'm sitting right downtown in the middle of Haswell, Virginia, in my 1988 F350, talking on a Kenwood TS50. Over.
Copy that. Well, that's sounding good out of that F350 there, Buck. Heard all of the conversation on that key down there. So that mobile's doing a good job. Typical mobile wear, in and out. Appreciate you listening to us while you're mobiling down the road there, Buck.
That was code for 1976 Ford Pinto.
Y'all stop it now.
Now that was funny.
But all right, well, this is Randall, WV8RKL. Gardening. Anybody got their gardens plowed yet?
Hey, I'm working on mine, Randall, and I have a question for you.
All right, ask away. I got some kind of an answer. Maybe it's I don't know, but I can answer you something.
I was watching something, I don't know. My wife's always watching these home improvement channels and stuff. The other night, we were laying in bed watching, and they were planting crops inside bales of hay.
Oh, yeah, that works quite well, actually. It holds moisture, holds heat, good for the roots. The plants grow really fast. If you've never tried it, not a bad idea to try it. But what I did was to hold my hay together longer, where the strings that's around it. I got some mechanics wire, or some people call it baling wire, and I just put that around the bale right over top of the string, tighten it down, and that would keep my bale together longer. Over.
Roger. Well, they weren't elaborating on how they did it or why they did it. It was just part of the home improvement video. And they had the garden out back with the bales of hay, and they had crops growing out. So I don't know if they have to put fertilizer or dirt, or what do you do?
I had never put any dirt. All I did was put seeds down there, cover it with a piece of plastic, and they growed like weeds. The tomato plants growed out of there quite well. I have grown peppers out of there quite well. Let's see what else. Peppers, peas. I did grow peas out of there. All I did was put seeds in the ground, in the bale of hay, covered it with plastic. They came up. I didn't put any dirt. I did water it. Of course, it holds moisture a lot longer. And as far as fertilizer, the way I understand it works makes perfect sense. The bale rots up and produces its own fertilizer.
I guess that makes sense. All right, pretty cool. I may have to try that this year. I've got all of our stuff here, like in the living room and the windows and stuff, and those little germinating things, they're all sprouting now. So we have to kill up our garden, and then we've had the chicken compost for since last summer building up there, and we're going to use that as well. So hopefully we have better luck this year. Every year seems to get a little bit better, but it's been hard, man, trying to grow this stuff and not use pesticides and stuff, because we don't want to do that. But I'll tell you what, the bugs are a big problem, and we've planted, certain plants in there that are supposed to fend them off, and of course we put flowers down the middle so it attracts the bees. That's a big problem, is getting bees as well. But hopefully this year will be a little bit better than last year.
Well, one should learn every year from year to year, especially when you got a raised garden. I don't do a whole lot of raised bed gardening. I've tried a little bit of everything over the years, even tried to grow tomatoes upside down in a sack or a plastic bag. Yeah, they worked. It worked good. Wasn't nothing wrong with it. But not my cup of tea. So I like plowing Mother Earth up and getting down there on my hands and knees and planting right in the ground level. But there's a lot of people that can't do that for multiple reasons. So raised garden beds is the only way they got to work with it. And it is easier on the back, too. I will say that. Definitely easier on the back with a raised garden. But getting down is not a problem. If anybody's like me, it's getting back up. I can get down there on the ground real easy. I crawl around all day. But, boy, when it comes time to get back up, might need a helping hand. Over.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. Getting down's easy. The hard part's getting back up. All right, I'll let you pick it back up. Thanks for picking me up. KJ4, is it?
Yeah, raised beds you got to water more often because they dry out more.
I was going to ask that. Yeah, potatoes.
I've got 3 spots out there.
Good deal. I haven't even tried to grow potatoes yet. Maybe I'll try that this year. I'll get a couple bales of hay there from Tractor Supply and try it. Oh. Oh, are you talking about the potatoes in your kitchen that get old and they start sprouting? Just take those and stick them in there?
No, this was from last year's crop, and I had a box of potatoes, and they were deep potatoes, and somehow they ended up over by the shed. Well, that whole box turned into nothing but a big green mass of potatoes. I'll transport that into
Yeah, maybe I'll try that this year, potatoes. It sounds like it'd be something really easy since it grows, underneath. Like, I think I had luck last year with radishes. They did really well. It's just the stuff that grows above ground. They got a problem with the bugs.
Predatory bugs. You need predatory bugs. You can order them and you put them in your garden. And all the flowers they just kind of lose the rest of the stuff. But the potato bugs and those kind of things, you just need predatory bugs.
Last thing I want to do is import more bugs. All right, man. Thank you for the input, and I'll let Randall get back at it. KJ4, is it?
I'll tell you one for potatoes. If you've never grown potatoes, this is the easiest, and I consider one of the smartest ways. You got some spare tires around. You just take them tires, put some dirt in there, put your potato plant in there, a couple of the potatoes. Them seed potatoes you was talking about that's sprouting, they will grow, but you can buy seed potatoes too. Just make sure it's a good potato and something that you want to eat, if you're going to grow it kind of thing. But take that spare tire, as that potato grows up, you don't hill it, you don't do nothing. You lay another tire on there, and then you just take another bag of potting soil and just pour right on top of that and keep raising the tires. You'll get 3 or 4 tires up. That way you don't have to try to dig potatoes when that 2 things I'll throw out there. One, if a woman's menstruating, she does not want to plant your potatoes. Your potatoes will not grow, okay? They will not grow. They will flower, and they'll be the beautifulest blooms you ever seen. and then you don't have no potato. But I don't know what it is about a woman in a menstrual cycle, but you don't want her planting potatoes when she's menstruating. Fact 101. I've seen that over the years. The other thing is when you get your potatoes up to the flowering stage, you don't want to be bumping into them and knocking them flowers off, because you look at that this way. If you knock that flower off, then that just, you knock potatoes off down there in the ground. So food for thought on that. But that rubber tire thing, whenever your plants is done flowering, they're dying off, you don't have to do nothing except go out there, take your foot, loosen it up a little bit, or a small shovel, loosen that tire up, flip it over, and right there's your potatoes. Makes it nice and neat and quite efficient there. Over.
You want to pick flowers off this. It's like a
I had never heard that. I know when I was doing it with my grandfather, when I was hilling potatoes with him throughout my childhood years, up until I was mid-20s, my grandfather would not don't knock the potato flowers off, and that was a big must, not. And we always yielded enough potatoes out of our potato garden to feed 3 families. So maybe we could have fed 12 families if we'd have picked them. I don't know. But because I've never tried picking them off, I've always just left the flowers on there. And when they flowered, I made sure that I didn't, if I was trying to hill them up, I was very gentle with them and not knock no flowers off.
Okay, when it's flowering, that's what it is.
I won't disagree with you on that at all. Like I said, I've just never tried it. That's a new one on me, and I'll take, we don't grow very many potatoes. We only grow 6 rows, but 6 rows of potatoes. My buddy grows 6 rows of potatoes, and they're 130 yards long. That's right, 130 yards long. And they produce so many potatoes that we fill both front porches up in a big shed out there full of potatoes, and then we go back and then we plow in between the rows and even pick up 2 or 3 more porchfuls of potatoes, and what we don't give to some of the neighbors around there, we just stockpile it all up, and we still have about 750 pounds of potatoes left. So last year's crop yielded quite well there, more than 1,000 pounds of potatoes.
When you're doing the quantity like that, you're not going to go out there. But if you do it in a container or a small container area, for what you're talking about now, that's not
Well, there we go. Maybe that's why Grandfather didn't have me do that. And I've never tried that. Even when I growed it in spare tire, I had pretty good yields. I'd get a couple bushel, well, not a couple, a good bushel plus of potatoes out of them tires there. I was growing them like that. But anyway, that's quite interesting. Now you've got me this year, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to end up picking the flowers off like bugs on a tomato and trying to get them to sprout better. So I'm kind of curious to see how that turns out for me. Well, it makes perfect sense because that's the way it works for tomatoes and all the other plants out there. So that's fantastic. Great information. Thanks for learning me something today there. Over. Yeah, go ahead, Randy.
saying anything gets the gun, but that's crazy. That's the First Amendment that guarantees us the right to free speech.
Oh, I agree with you 300% there, Randy. Definitely something wrong with that. My point was just to show people how easy it is and how fast you lose your rights. I've watched it come across the world, across the big pond over into this region up north below us, down south, and it's plumb scary. One day you're okay to do something, the next day it's life imprisonment. So it's something to ponder on, something to think about, and it makes me it actually kind of puts a fear in me there of just how easy that it occurs. Just like no one's paying real close attention or a whole lot of attention to what's going on over across the pond in the tractors and all the dirt in the roads and so forth and so on. And farmers ain't ever doing that because they want to. They're ever doing it because they have to, and that's their last resort before they end up incarcerated there.
Yeah, the Spanish, there's over 20 countries that the farmers are protesting Agenda 2030, losing their land, losing their rights, losing their being able to use nitrogen, and I think it was the Spanish police in Spain there, they were using rubber bullets to shoot at. That's how tyrannical they've gotten. So, but the French, they've been spreading manure, they've been blocking off roads, so they're not giving up. They're, in fact, in Quebec as well, the Quebec farmers have a fleet of tractors that are blocking roads and that. So, this all started 2 years ago with the truckers going to Ottawa. This started with that. So all the other countries took notice, and now they're starting to take action against these politicians that are part of the WEF. As Klaus Schwab said, and you can see the video, he says that half the cabinet of Canada we have infiltrated. We have young Justin Trudeau as part of that. So there he is saying it. So they're doing whatever the WF, the elitists are wanting, and Klaus Schwab needs to be hung in public for crimes against humanity, along with George Soros and anybody else that's involved with that evil group of individuals.
Well, the United States is in for something totally different here than what they've ever seen. They haven't heard much about it other than they know they're there. But 9 million, 17 million plus people has been put into our country, brought into our country, that's one heck of a big army, a major army there. And people was paying attention to what they look like, their ages, their builds. It's not people coming to our country to get. To put it bluntly, I think it's an army, because there's not a whole lot of females involved in that whole big thing. And even the Red Cross, I've seen multiple things dealing with the Red Cross is pointing the direction and handing out maps down South America, Brazil, and places of that nature's turning their prisoners loose and the ones out of their insane asylum and literally sending them north, man, give them provisions and send them this way. So, who's paying for that? I don't have a clue, but if our money, one would know. We're paying for it.
Yeah, I don't trust any of those organizations. Salvation Army is the only one that I will donate to when I see them, but all these other organizations, they're just top heavy and just I understand there's Red Cross, they're wanting blood donations, and where are they using that blood? That's an interesting thing. What do they do in Haiti? They didn't do a lot in Haiti. So there's evil there in those organizations as well. And I think, like when you donate money, I think 10 cents of it goes to good. The rest is taken by organization for their operating costs, which is ludicrous. So anyhow, Randall, there's somebody is right in our band path, and I don't understand why they're there, but I think I'm going to cut this stream now. We're past an hour now, and like I said, anybody that wants to watch it later, it'll still be saved on YouTube there. And I'll see what I can find some more information on for what's going on here in Canada with what the carbon tax and other things as well, and so on and so forth. So with that, I'm going to play the music. I don't know if anybody watched the start of it. I got real tricky here. I found out how I can do the play music as an intro, and I'll have some music as the exit, which is from YouTube. It's not copywritten or anything. It's what they have available, so you can put that in your stream and not be penalized or flagged or taken off, and so on and so forth. So with that, I'm going to bid everybody adieu. I got to get something to eat here. I missed lunch because we had a late, breakfast was, instead of 8 o'clock, it was 9 o'clock. So got to have something because got to keep my sugar in the right perspective here. So with that, everybody have a great day and great net, and hopefully we'll get more people watching and listening and can contribute. That's what we really want, isn't it, Randall? Someone that can contribute with whatever the subject may be. Will just help build this net and get information out there, and we'll just keep plugging away at it. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie. Go ahead there, Randall.
Comment. Say a comment.
Thank you, Randall. Going on what he was just talking about, the Red Cross article I read a couple weeks ago, the Red Cross sells the blood to the medical industry for $750 and when you donate roughly, I think it's a pint, or I think it's a pint when you go, I think that's what they call it. That is 8 units. The Red Cross makes $750 per unit. And as far as I know, the Red Cross really does nothing for humanity. Kind of like Goodwill. You never go to Goodwill. They have no goodwill. They do nothing. But I can tell you, like the other gentleman said in Canada, I believe he is, the Salvation Army, like we have them here, they take care of the homeless. They feed them 3 meals. They try to give them a shelter as much as they can. They're actually doing something in our community. But the Red Cross and Goodwill, they're just out to gouge people and take advantage. That's my comment on that. KJ4
Yeah, you're pretty well on there. And what the Salvation Army, a lot of them are hams. They're a Salvation Army here anyhow. They're usually the first to, when you ever have a national disaster, as an example, when the town of Goderich got hit by a tornado, you lose communications and the power in that. So they were the first. Salvation Army was first there. They set up communications. They've got trucks that they cook for people 3 meals a day. They're usually the first at a disaster, natural disaster, and they're usually the last to leave. So, but anyhow, okay, sounds good. I'm going to play exit music here, and you guys have a great day. Thanks, Randall, and for letting me do this, and anybody else that hopefully enjoy the stream and get something out of it as well. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie.
Contact.
Thanks to you, for hearing that too, as well as participating. 34KIC. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, hi, Philip. Thank you for that. This is M4XRP. You all are aware that the Salvation Army is a church, right?
Well, they're part of the Christian network or something that I know of. But I do know they actually do stuff for the community. They really do. I mean, I know if you go to the Salvation Army to buy stuff, the prices are through the roof. Well, now so is Goodwill. But Goodwill does nothing for the community, but the Salvation Army always has.
Yeah, I've got a good friend. He's deceased. He was in the fire department. He was a member of the Salvation Army, and he and I had a long talk about it one time, and it is a church. salvation. You know what that means? An army, God's army. So it is a church, a legitimate denomination.
Roger. Yeah, I knew they were, Christian network or something of that nature. But, years ago, I'm talking 20-something years ago, I hated the Salvation Army because they charged so much for the used crap they had, which now Goodwill is charging as much as if you went to Walmart to buy something. But as being older in life and now living where I live now, and I actually see downtown what the Salvation Army does.
Well, I guess that's it. I think we're gonna cut this stream and let me get rid of that. Just do that. There we go. We're gonna finish this stream here for Sunday, and hopefully people got something out of it and enjoyed it. So with that, I'm gonna get over here. There we go. So we'll cut that off. Anyhow, 7-3. This is Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie saying adios.